Today I have a question that why non-consensual sexual relationship between a husband and a wife has legal immunization. Do you know that India is among the only 36 countries of the world that has not criminalized marital rape yet? Also, if you are going to tell me that it's about the institution of marriage and protecting it, let me tell you that this law is not Indian and we can trace its roots to the British colonial rule. So, to talk about the issue of marital rape, we have today lawyer Tanya Apachu. Tanya, now let's talk about the exception 2 of section 375 of the IPC. Because recently we have seen the judgments of Kerala High Court and the Chhattisgarh High Court and how, contradicting they are to both of them. So, how do you see the issue of marital rape?
Um, I can understand. So basically, for our viewers, marital rape is not a crime in India. So if you had the Indian Penal Code says that if you are married, then it's an exception to rape because it's an implied consent. मतलब आपका शादी हुआ है तो you have given consent to that person to have sexual relationships with you. Now, unfortunately, in reality, that is not how it works because there are so many marriages in our country which are forced. There are child marriages. There are marriages made under pressure, under coercion. Uh, Even in a regular happy marriage, somebody may not be in the mood, just simply may not be in the mood for sex, which is not understood by the partner because, like we said, the power plays in how in the families in India. Men sometimes feel that it is their right to get sex, and so the judiciary has feels that this needs to be an exception to rape. The main problem people feel is how do you prove it? Okay. Now, there are many countries in this world who have legalized marital rape. So I'm sure we can borrow laws from those countries, study the laws of those countries and create something for us which, covers all loopholes and exceptions. Another big issue with marital rape is misuse of it because like how 498A has been misused for dowry cases and cruelty by wife. So it's been quite misused, and the Supreme Court has also said it's a form of legal terrorism because of the amount in which it's been misused by women. So that fear is obviously there for marital rape. But currently, marital rape is only, like the Kerala High Court said, a ground for divorce. It's also a form of sexual abuse under the Domestic Violence Act. But the punishment for rape is way higher than the punishment for domestic violence, or of course divorce is not even a punishment, it's simply a ground to separate. So we have to understand that if a woman has been suffering in a marriage for many years, I mean, if we can raise a big issue, make it a big issue when somebody else like a normal girl gets raped. See, there was recently a case where a woman was raped by 10 to 15 people over a period of 9 months, because she was being blackmailed with her nudes. So, I mean, there was quite a furor over it on and media. Yes. So, if we can raise an issue over that, why not? Because if a woman is suffering throughout her life in a marriage, being raped continuously by a man, why can't we make a big deal about it? I mean, um, so yes, there is. I mean, there are a lot of activism with regards to marital rape, and I hope something concrete comes out of this. I'm sure the judiciary wants to do something, but making laws is not easy in this country. There are a lot of elements which comes into play, religious elements, because marriage is, a religious sentiment in our country. We are guided by religious personal laws. So to get all the religions in the same place, make them happy, make the government happy. It's not easy to pass a law. So I think that's what is taking so much time. And I think the Justice Varma Committee also had urged that, marital should be criminalized. So I hope something happens about it quickly.
Also, I would like to ask you, there is an exception, as you told us. So, does it also discriminate the married women, like from Article 14 and 21?
Yes, I mean, it is a gender-based discrimination, obviously, because I mean, if you talk about gender-based discrimination, then we can say that even men are discriminated because we do not have any sexual harassment or rape laws against men in this country at all. Uh, I think the Supreme Court has also said that every woman, every person has a right to sexual privacy, and that is your fundamental right. So, marital rape, even if you're married, not married, whatever your relationship status is, you have a right over your bodily functions. You have right over sexual privacy, whom you want to have sex with, whom you want to give your body to. So that bodily autonomy is not even given to a married woman, right? Just because she signed a document or undergone a particular cultural ceremony, she is just giving away her bodily autonomy, which is against her fundamental right. So yes, I mean, there is a great case for marital rape to be criminalized, and we are just hoping that it happens soon. Yeah.
So, tell me one thing, if we have a law, like many people have been arguing that the institution of marriage will not remain intact as it is today.
I mean, that is a big fat joke because what is the institution of marriage? What is it based on? Is it based on the fact that a woman simply keeps shut and lets a man do whatever he wants to do with her, or even vice versa? I mean, that is definitely not what marriage is supposed to be. It's unfortunately assumed to be that over a period of time. I mean, we are in the 21st century, we are in 2021. And if people still believe that this is going to affect a marriage, then I mean, I have nothing to say to that. It doesn't make any sense. So yeah.
Okay. So, also India is only among the 36 countries that have not criminalized marital rape. So, as a
Yes.
lawyer, when you see these things, does it like, doesn't feel good about it?
I think as a lawyer, you feel for the clients who come to you and ask you that tell you that something like this is happening with them. They are being sexually abused in a marriage. They are uh, facing harassment every day, day in and day out, and you cannot really tell them that okay, we can help you with this because we do not have laws to help them. Is divorce an answer? If somebody is being raped, is that the answer? Is just getting a separation an answer? That is not the answer to something that literally affects a woman's mental and physical health and humiliates her every day. And just for us to be able to say that, listen, आपको इस ground पे divorce मिल जाएगा, is not good enough, right? I mean, as a lawyer, you feel for your clients, you feel for the victims of marital rape, and if so many countries, so many developing countries can legalize marital rape, then why can't we?
Are we ready for it?
We will never be ready for it, Apurva. We will never as a society be ready for it because we have a long way to go when it comes to getting all classes of our society to think alike and align our thinking. That's not going to happen. That's going to take a while, but there is a need for it, and I think laws are very need based. They have to be depending upon the needs of the society. So that ways, depending on the amount of marital rapes that's happening in India, there is a great need for it, and that's why we are ready for it. Mentality wise, we will never be ready for it. So let's not even go there.
On that note, that we maybe not ready for it, but we need that law. Let's put an end to this
Yes.
conversation.